Hey, we know what you wanna do today. We know what you wanna see. It's time to meet the RE family.
Oboe here. Welcome to the first episode of Meet the RE Family. This is kind of a free-form vlog type thing that we've been planning for a while, where you guys just get to meet us. We'll do Q&As or talk about things that we like, whatever you guys want to see. Let us know if you have suggestions in the comments below. Before we start this episode, though, I have an announcement to make. On Tuesday, there will be a charity live stream held by Brooke and some of her friends in honor of Brooke's best friend, Isabella. Isabella, an honorary member of the RE family, lost her battle with depression in early February. And Brooke's taken this situation, which has been really hard on her, and turned it into something really excellent that's going to benefit a lot of other people. Like I said, it's a charity live stream, and all the money that we make will be going to the ADAA, the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. We'll announce the time on our Twitter, which you can follow by clicking the link in the description. And if you can stop by on Tuesday or donate some money, that would be great. If you can't, we'd appreciate you letting other people know so that they might be able to stop by or donate. Brooke's definitely going to be there. I'm going to try and be there for some time. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. Now, on to the episode. So, if it wasn't painfully obvious, I love music. And if it wasn't painfully obvious, I love stage musicals. But when I'm looking at musicals, like when I'm looking at the score, or I'm looking at the scenes, or listening to the album, or whatever, I'm generally thinking, what would I have done differently? Now, this isn't to say that I'm a better musical writer. I mean, I'm still struggling to write the musicals that I'm making. But this is just kind of to get an idea of how my brain works. And, you know, I like to think about this. Like, what would I have done differently? What would I have done in this moment? Do I like what they did in this moment? What does what I would have done say about me, kind of? Now, don't worry, I'm not going to go around rewriting Phantom of the Opera anytime soon, but I think this is a fun exercise for me to do, and I'd like to share some of my revelations with you guys. So, this is kind of geeky and video gamey and music-y, so I think about 2 years ago there was a little bit of a fuss in the Portal fandom because there was an unauthorized Portal 2 musical created. It was really clever and well done, and basically what they did is that it was a jukebox musical, taking songs from other musicals and rewriting them to fit the characters of Portal 2. They recently redid it. They updated it, changed the costumes a little bit, changed the script a little bit. It was really well done, and I watched that today. I'll leave a link in the description to that video, by the way. All the while I was thinking, what would I have done differently? So this is just kind of some of my ramblings of not things that I think would make it better, but things that I would have done differently. Now, first of all, I would have started with a kind of a dark setting of Still Alive. Still Alive doesn't appear at all in the musical, and it doesn't even appear in Portal 2. However, if you're just starting with Portal 2 the musical, you're missing out on a little bit of plot. They cover that a little bit in the musical, but there's a lot of stuff that happens in Portal 1, namely just GLaDOS, who starts as just kind of an inefficient robot voice, and then you realize she's a super intelligent AI who will actively try to kill you. And so that's very unsettling when you play it for the first time. I think that the musical did really well explaining how bad GLaDOS is, but if you know nothing about Portal, then you're just kind of supposed to take their word for it, and then suddenly she changes sides in Act 2, and it's confusing. So I would have started with Still Alive, sung by GLaDOS, to kind of get a bit of a creepy vibe. I think it might have sounded something like this. This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. And I'm changing the chords, but not the melody a whole lot. I've experiments to run. There is research to be done on the people who are still alive. So I might have started with something like that. But I think the opening scene that they set kind of really conveys the humor pretty well. But that's something that I just would have personally done differently. Second thing, now one thing that they changed from the 2015 production is that Doug Ratman, who is a kind of a side character, who's like Descendant to Madness you kind of see in the Portal games, appears a little bit in the 2017 version of the unauthorized Portal 2 musical. But I would have given him a little bit of a bigger role. Now, I understand that it's following the story of the game, and that Doug Ratman's story isn't really in the game. But I think it's an excellent piece of side story that I feel was wasted by putting it in the comics, because it's really fascinating. I really love it. He's such an interesting character, and a lot of people don't know a whole lot about him. I would have given him a little bit of a bigger role. I appreciate that they added him in the 2017 version, and I think he sings a little bit, but I don't remember any songs specifically that he has. He's just kind of there in some of the scenes, from what I remember. Could be remembering this incorrectly. So I would have made his thing a little bit bigger, a little bit more important. Now, this is kind of just a personal thing. When I reimagine these as having all the copyright, as having all the creative control. But, some things couldn't be done for logical reasons, for copyright reasons, that kind of thing. So if I had all the freedom in the world, I probably would have included Exile Vilify. It's one of the lesser known songs, I'd argue, from the Portal series. It's a great song that I think is really excellent, but it's not really relevant to Portal, I'd say. It appears in the game, but it doesn't quite follow the story of Portal. So I understand why they wouldn't have used it, but I think that it would have been a great number, possibly for either Ratman's character, or Dave Johnson, or maybe to the personality cores. I think that would sound really good with added harmonies. Like, forgive me if my piano playing is a little bit bad here. It was something like... vilify. Don't even try. But something like that, I just would have added harmonies. I understand why they changed certain things. Like, I understand why they made Chell speak a little bit, but I still would have had her be mostly mute and just kind of had her songs as, like soliloquies, I guess. Is that the right word? Asides to the audience, revealing her thoughts, which I think that they did for the most part really well, but they did have her say apple a couple of times. While it set the comedic tone of it really well, I think, I'm not sure if I would have done that personally. I would have tried to have followed the Portal story a little bit more faithfully, which is that she doesn't talk because she's sticking it to GLaDOS and all the other guys. She's like, I can talk, but I'm not going to, because I'm not going to give you the satisfaction. And if you think about it, that kind of does anger GLaDOS a little bit, is that she never gets the satisfaction of really getting to Chell. She says things, but Chell never responds. So how does she know what Chell thinks about those things? This video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to try and wrap it up soon. Want You Gone? I would have made a duet between GLaDOS and Chell. I would have made that a duet. I mean, it works great as a GLaDOS solo song, but there are some harmonies that GLaDOS just doesn't get, and maybe they could have done that by adding some turrets, or in the chorus, sing some of the harmonies. But I personally would have had it as a duet between Chell's inner monologue and between GLaDOS. I think that the lyrics fit really well for both of them at times. For example, go make some new disaster, that's what I'm counting on. That particular line, I think, is really great for both of them. I think for that production, I would have added some kind of, like, bow song. I mean, they just did a very typical theater bow where it was like they all went on stage, but I think that I would have used one of the songs that was written for Portal and done it as a way to, okay, here's the ensemble members, here are the kind of main characters, here are the more main characters, and here are the actors playing Chell. I would have done that, I think, kind of like in a typical musical fashion, and it would have contained a vocal part from one of the other songs. Not sure what. I think that the musical was really well done. Everybody who's interested in Portal would really enjoy it. I think it's fun. I think the effects that they did were clever. I thought that the costumes were really great. I thought the actors were pretty good, I think I'm going to follow the company that did it, see more of the stuff that they did, because this was really kind of cool. I hope that you were even slightly entertained by this episode of Meet the RE Family. Again, let us know if you want to do more. Follow our social media links, check out our other videos, blah, blah, blah. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.